Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Citation to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth, sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through their father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Aquatium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom. This is your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson, and this is morning brief. Russian refutes U.S. drone crash claim. Right. This is India records locate defense purchases and more. Right. And I believe that word refute goes into like they disagree at saying it didn't happen. But I mean, let me see. Yeah, so yeah, it is refute. It says to prove a statement or theory to be wrong or false, right? Or disprove. You know what I mean? So they're saying this is not true. It didn't happen, right? But then what are you gonna say when you're in war, right? Yeah. So right here you see the jets, and these, I guess, some East Indians, whatever, and then you see the sign that's on the Facebook thing, which actually I believe it means like eternal, which that's what the Lord said that their inward thought is, that their houses shall continue forever, right? So if that's thing for Facebook, what is this doing right here? So this is like a symbol for all the elites. They're all in cahoots on one way or another, right? Though they fight against each other or pretend to fight against each other, but the Lord is gonna have it where this thing is gonna heat up. Hey, and all the pretending and jokes and games are gonna be over. But it says let's continue. It says the world watches with bated breath. Yeah, let's look up that word bated breath. It says a bated breath first appeared in Shakespeare's Merchant of Vatican in 1605, using a shorted form of abated, which means stop or reduce. The phrase refers to people holding their breath in excitement or fear as they wait to see what happens next. And that's ultimately what you're going to be going through. You're going to see the fear of what's going to happen, man. You're going to know who are the Lord's, man, while you're waiting. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what's going to happen, man. Truly, we're the children of the Most High, and you're going to see that. But ultimately, you're going to be in fear, man. World War III is ultimately here, as prophesied. Yeah, so this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? So, you know, the Lord said for you to never trust your enemy, man. This self-proclaimed so-called white man has always been our enemy all the way back into our mother's womb, back into Rebecca's womb. Right? You know, the Lord's dealing with a lineage, you know what I mean? Unlike, you know, these you know, vocab Malone wants to do. The Lord is dealing with a lineage, and that's what he wants to try to skate around. I mean, the Lord's been dealing with a lineage from basically from beginning of Genesis all the way into into what they call the New Testaments, which really there's no such thing. The Bible is the Bible. The Scriptures are the Scriptures. From beginning to end, and they're all of Yahweh Shai. And what proves it is because it's dealing with that lineage, and that lineage, it tells you Yahweh Shai's lineage all the way back to Adam, man. So there's no escaping this, man. That's why you don't trust your enemy, man. You never trust your enemy, right? Though he humble himself and go crouching, right? And ultimately, that's what Biden did. You know, this whole so-called Silicon Valley type thing, and then this other bank. Can't really pronounce the name to it, but it's two banks back to back, and he's coming out there basically in a way of crouching. Oh, don't worry, blah 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 blah. And then you see the comment that the other brother he had did on his lesson. And I thought that was pretty you know that was very good. So I put it there. It was a little funny too because that's exactly what it is, man. This devil been sitting here and lying, and if you know he get up there, and you know he's lying, man. But at the same time, if everybody running, it'll make it collapse faster. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. And that's the scenario that you're in. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him, and thus shalt be unto him as if thus has wiped a looking glass, and thus shalt know that his rust, right, that wickedness, has not altogether wiped away, right? Clean up, all polish. You know, Esau, he went from the caves to now he's wearing a freaking suit. And now hey, he's the same caveman. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to bash you over the head. You know what I'm saying? Kill you. Push you over a cliff. You know what I mean? Set him not by thee. See, right here. Lest when he have overthrown thee, right? Ultimately, that's what he did. He did that to us in, when we were ruling Europe, right? Did that to the natives here, right? He overthrew us, man. Took our strongholds down when we ruled Europe, right? And Europe is named by a so-called black woman, an Israelite woman named Europa. That's where you get Europe from, right? So they overthrew you, overthrow thee. He standeth up in thy place. And what did he do? Now he's calling himself European. Now he's calling himself American, right? Now he's calling himself African. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, right? And that's what they're talking about, a universal basic income, a digital ID with digital income or economy, which is income, your economy. It's all digital, really to take over your whole entire life, right? It says, yeah, lest he seek to take thy seat, yeah, and thus at that last remember my words and be plucked therewith. Oh, pricked therewith. Oh, right, Salakia. And you're going to be pricked therewith, right? right? Because that makes sense. Matter of fact, pricked therewith. Yes, so the world waits with abated breath, which basically means they're waiting for expectation whether this thing turns out good or bad or whatever, right? We just seen that. It says prospects of escalation, so they're expecting that it could end up in escalation on March 14th after an American drone crashed over the Black Sea, which was yesterday now, right? Over the Black Sea following a collision with Russian fighter jet, while a far so far there has not been an escalation. Pierce. It says the expected geopolitical tumult is dominating the current news circle as Russia refute. See, but that's what they've always done. Especially when you deal with them Amalekites, man. They've always dominated the news to try to spin their narrative out there so you could think something that it's not. But then, like I said, it's war. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they've always done that. You know, which a small one should draw you out, man. Right? Because they the one who control the news. Right? So it says as Russia refuted, right? Which refute, we looked it up. It means to you know to say that it's wrong, whether if it's someone accusing you or a theory. It's showing that thing that they're saying is not correct. So they're saying I will refute you that's wrong, that didn't happen, right? To allegations, right? Or alleged, right? Esau with these words, allegation of crashing the U.S. drone over what Washington said were international waters, which that's like a grounds for war, World War III in itself. In New Delhi, despite being Moscow's special and was it privilege strategy partner strategic partner, right? So like, yeah, India is yet to make final headways to clear outstanding ruble payments for defense purchase from Russia. Oh, they're supposed to pay them in rubles. Okay. This has led to record location defense purchases by New Delhi in the recent weeks. So, what is it? India, right? New Delhi is basically India. India is the East Indians, Elam, basically, yeah. The Elamites. So they're purchasing things and missiles and hey, and I believe what you call him was saying, what's Dabu 7, he was saying that the thing with India is they'll purchase defense weapons from America, then they'll purchase defense weapons from Russia, and they're playing, I guess, the middleman, like Moni in the like. I'm not really on your side. I'm not really on that side. But then you know what? They're gonna pit. They're gonna most likely be part of the BRICS nations. They're gonna side with Russia soon, right? Yeah. So this is Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 20. It says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, man. And this is ultimately you know, the Lord making what do they call that? The, what's that thing they do? Esau does the summits. This is the Lord's summit, and the Lord is the biggest mountain, man. This is just the Lord's geopolitics, right? That He have taken against Edom, and his purpose that He had purposed, right? His purpose that He has purpose, which is past tense. It's already done. Against the habitations of Teman, right? Through your wisdom. This is your men that have wisdom, because you know you got Project Paperclip. Russia took half of the scientists. America took the other half. That's your Teman, your Project Paperclip, right? The Lord's putting an end to that. The least of the flock shall draw them out. So you got what? Amalek, which is the so-called Jewish people, the small hats. They're gonna draw you out into this war, man, because they don't get along with India, and they don't get along with Iran, which the Lord told Gog and Magog, which is Russia, to be a guard unto Persia, which is the modern day Iran. So these are these people, right? I believe that will make the East Indians down there, over there in New Delhi, I think that makes them Persians too. I believe so. So, or yeah. So, the Lord said for Gog and Magog, which is Russia, to be a guard unto them. So it says, Salah, they're gonna draw you out into this war tree, you know. So it says, surely He shall make their habitations desolate with them, right? Starting with America, right? But also what? That place of what? The valley of troops, man. The valley of Yahweh Shaphat. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, right? When them missiles get to shooting, them arrows that get shot from one end of the earth into the other and hit America, and then some parts hit Russia or hit China, and some part hit, you know, Israel, and you know, these other different parts of the world that, you know, that these missiles are going to hit, right? And you know, of course, there are going to be survivors, because how else anyone going to hear the noise? They're going to be survivors. They're going to hear the noise and move at the noise of their fall, at the cry, the noise thereof, right? And then when you go to Revelations 18, it says they're gonna cry after them and say what great city Babylon was, a city of merchants where you can make a lot of money, and now that city, you're not gonna be able to make that type of money. Matter of fact, I'll try to get to it, Lord willing. It says the noise, and the cry of the noise thereof, as was heard in the Red Sea, right? And from America all the way to the Red Sea, man, that's a far place, man. That's a big distance, and you're gonna hear the fall of America, man. Behold, He shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread His wings over Basra, which that's talking about America, man. Modern day Basra, or spiritual Basra, is America. This is their chief place where they make a lot of decisions concerning Edom, man. Right? Because, you know,
Gog and Magog, which is Russia. They're Edomites, and ultimately they got this what do you call secret societies, New World Orders. They got their oaths between each other, but what they're about to be broken, man. The Lord said He's coming to separate, man. An ultimate thing that separates people is what? Fear. So it says what? It says over Basra, and that day shall the hearts of the mighty men of Edom, right? So the Lord's coming to break you all, man. You're gonna start fighting yourself because of fear. Mighty men of Edom be as the heart, right? Your mind, your lob, your heart of a woman in pangs, right? The Lord's gonna turn you to from a hero to a zero, which you already are, but just figuratively speaking, you're gonna be Mr. Tough Guy. But once you see Yahweh Shema Shai through His Son and the glory that He gives His Son to come back to judge the world on the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which his real name is Yahweh Shai, right? You know. Yeah, so this is Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will gather all the nations. Who's the I speaking about? Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, will gather the nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Right? So not only will America be destroyed, the first thing before America be destroyed, or spiritual Basra be destroyed, the Lord has to gather them into the valley of troops, right? It says, and will plead, right, which means judge, with them there for my people, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and you Israelites around the world, scattered through the transatlantic slave trade, and scattered through all the slave trades and through all the diasporas, man, that they want to ignore, man. Right? It says, yeah, so, and for my heritage, Israel, right, which is Yasha Allah. It's not actually Israel like how they put it. It's Yasha Allah. He Prince Allah, which is God or power. He Prince of the power, man. Or he's a prince with the power, right? Whom they have scattered among all nations, right? Through the transatlantic slave trade, right? Which it actually goes into this. And parted my land, right? So, you can read into it. I'm just getting this part right here, because the Lord's finna gather you, right, to destroy you for World War III. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of what? Babylon, which is the daughter of Babylon, which is America. And it says the voice that fleeth, right? So that's that voice in Revelations 18 that said, come up hither, right? From the voice that fleeth, right? Right? Those dealing with the elect that hear that voice, then they should be able to escape out of the land of Babylon, which is America, when they get destroyed, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, our power, the vengeance of His temple. And His temple, what are His people? We're a people before a place. We're a people where the Lord's temple before Solomon's temple. The Lord said that He didn't really desire for anyone to build a place for Him to dwell there. How could the Lord dwell in a temple made by hands? Right? You know what I mean? The Lord said He didn't really want to make a king. He did it because this is what the people were begging for. So the Lord set up a thing so you could have a king. But then the Lord was, hey, the Lord is all knowing. He knew that this was going to be all set up. He was going to make a Davidical line, and this thing was we're going to build back up the tabernacle of David, man. So it's we're people before a place. We're the Lord's temple. And Esau, Edom, and all you other nations, you should have never put your hands on us, man. But it's okay. Call together all the archers, see, against Babylon, which is America, and all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape, man. And if you're going to hear a noise from all the way from America over to the Red Sea, man, none is going to escape, man. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done. Do unto her, for she have been proud against Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Right? Because all caps is Yahweh, but you got to include his son, because what? He's finna give his son all authority, right? To judge everything, man. And it says against the Holy One of Israel, right? Which that Holy One of Israel, which will be Yahweh Shai. The Holy One of Israel is Yahweh Shai. Out of all the Israelites, there's only one Israelite that was ever holy, that was ever perfected, right? That was truly set apart, right? Because holy being set apart. But if the first lump be holy, then the rest of the lump is going to be holy also, man. Yeah, right along with Judas Iscariot, man. Judas Iscariot is part of that original holy lump, which is part of Yahweh Shai. You thought he picked them for no reason? You know? Judas Iscariot could be prophesying right now. You don't know. He could be part of the elect now. There is regeneration. I know you don't want to believe that, but okay. Should your unbelief make the faith, the prophecies of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have none effect? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai forbid, man. Right? Yeah, let me add this to it. It says, Jeremiah 50:30. Therefore shall her young men, right, which is mother liberty or woman liberty, right, which not really a woman, or might be a hermaphrodite, right? Where it got both parts, where it could still birth you, but then still have a, have a rod, because that's how this place is. It's confusion, right? Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war. See, the Lord says He's going to make you afraid. You're going to be like a woman, man. Right? Her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, so this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, right? So all this is really leading you into World War III, which is the end of your rulership, right? The end. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's it, period. Right? But this whole thing, the small one, or the least of you shall bring, the least of the flock, which is Amalek, shall bring you out into World War III. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread, right? Because y'all all was under one consent. So come together, let us be all under one consent. Even all the tribes of Esau, then all these different tribes of the other nations on one consent come. Let us come together that Israel may be cut off, right? You were confederate, right? You were eating the bread. You were trading Israelites, scattering them through slavery, right? You were enriching yourself, right? Off the Lord's people. Eating that bread, Having laid a wound under thee. So ultimately, everybody can see that Amalek is a problem. That these international bankers, these world bankers, is the issue. And now, I mean, they're so close to their globalization that they don't care. They're letting it all hang out. But that's a thing where it's what? It's what it says, the men that were at peace with you have deceived thee. So ultimately what? These everybody's catching on to the world bankers, man. And eventually they're just gonna lead this whole thing on to where eventually it's just gonna be like, look, we just gonna deceive them. We're gonna make them think we're playing this game with them. Right? And eventually what? The fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is gonna set upon these people. And then it's gonna be self-preservation, right? And then they have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee, right? It's just going to be self-preservation. Once they see the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and they see the Lord is real, it's going to be about self-preservation, man. There is none understanding in him. So we could go talk to our faces blue. Vocab can come to the camp again and again and again, talk to your faces blue, but there ain't no understanding in him. We're telling him what he's going to do before he does it. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. But no. We don't want to. But really, you don't want other people to know the facts, the hard truth, man. Right? Because shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wisdom or the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau. So your whole thing, and what you already see that now with Joe Biden. You've never seen a besides George W. Bush, and that was really the beginning, huh? Seeing George W. Bush go up there. if you fool me once, and if you fool me, I mean, you can't fool me again. Hey, man, the dude didn't even know how to say a simple saying that's been said freaking forever. You know what I mean? So that's been the Lord deteriorating your wisdom and putting it right in front of the world, man. And this is the worst it's ever been through Biden. You have no understanding. And the amount of Esau, and they, right, even what's his name, Putin. He don't understand that the Lord told him to prepare and prepare the other nation and prepare himself, really only for him to be destroyed also. Why? Because what the Lord says, what? Right here. It says, even destroy the wisdom out of Edom and the understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, right? Project Paperclip. Going back to that. They took half the scientists to Russia, half the scientists to America, and that's how they making these ICBM missiles. That's how they making these laser weapons. Through teaming. But the Lord is taking the wisdom, taking the mighty out of them. Their might is their intelligence. Right? Taking the understanding away from them. Shall be dismayed, right? See? You're going to be dismayed, confused, brought down. To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off. Every one of you. That's why even Russia, you're being misled to be cut off by slaughter for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, right? Which is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and you Israelites that's scattered around the world, man. Shame shall cover thee, and thus shall be cut off forever, man. You ain't coming back, and thus saith the Lord, man. So there ain't no coming back from this, man. But ultimately, what? You're being led and drawn out by a small one, and then, or by the least of the flock, right? Because even Russia, because they're Edomites. Because what did it say? This article. This says Yeah, because see, where's Russia at? In Black Sea. It says a American drone crashed over the Black Sea following a collision with Russian fighter jets. Well, so far there has not been an escalation. Pierce the the expected geopolitical tumult, right? Tumult, which means that they're at a disagreement. Separation is dominating, so like the current news cycle, right? And who controls the news? Amalek, right? Yeah. So what is this? Obadiah chapter 1 verse 2, because Amalek controls the news, and Amalek is what? The smallest among them. So behold, which means look, pay attention, I have made thee small among the heathen, right? So this is Amalek. Amalek is the smallest amongst the heathen. Little bitty old Israel is actually one that's actually dominating the whole world through the banking system, right? But the Lord's gonna make, they're already small, but not only are they small, they're despised, right? Because people are starting to find out that they control that news cycle or circuit or all the news things. So they're trying to get ahead. And when Russia's saying, look, I never did it. So, but Russia's going to get drawn up. The Lord's going to put hooks in Russia's jaws just based on that. Little stuff is happening. And he's saying, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just doing my thing. He's just taking back the land that belongs to him. When he did that to Crimea, that actually was a part of Russia. He's coming in to dominate, take that, and take back what belongs to him. Ukraine is what really belongs to him. What belongs to Russia. Right? And that's all basically prophecy that would happen. What, to draw them out where to the Black Sea, and the Black Sea is where? Right by the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. So the Lord is doing, hey, look, the Lord's doing what he said he was going to do. Matter of fact, yeah, so I will make these small or despised, right? Or they actually are small too, because Israel's small among the heathen, thus are greatly despised. See? So the Lord gave the definition to it too, right there, because they're greatly despised. Why? Because what? Matter of fact, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? See, because ultimately what? Because of the internet, things are being searched out. We're finding out that the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Gettys, the serfs, the what do they call? God dang it! But basically, all those families, those banking families, the Rockefellers, all these banking families are all Jewish people, right? Which dominate these world banks and these banks, and all of a sudden now banks are all of a sudden going bankrupt, right? But that whole thing is being sought out, man. Searched out. And how are the hidden things sought up, man? The things are being found out all over the place, man. So we know that the Amalek runs the news, so they're trying to get ahead of the news, so they can say, no, this happened. They actually shot down an American drone, so over the sea, and hey, look, somebody need to answer for it. And then Russia saying, look, we ain't did nothing. That never happened. They're refuting it. But that's ultimately them basically poking, what do they call it? Poking the bear. That's Russia. That's what they're doing. They're poking the bear. And ultimately what? World War III is going to commence. But really, it's all going to do it so the Lord will cut off, what's his, and the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. And that's ultimately what's coming to pass, right? To draw you all out, so you all of Edom be cut off by slaughter. Let's go back right here to Jeremiah chapter 49. It's in 23. Concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, right? Matter of fact, let's look at this. So I just typed in modern day Damascus, and it's right here. It says Assyria, but it's right in here. Look at Israel. Israel's right there. And then if you look above that, it's Turkey, and that little speck of water right there, that's the Black Sea. And that's where the Russian troops are at. Right in that area, in that Black Sea. With with uh with short range missiles that can make it to here, right here. You're talking about ICBM missiles from submarines, from whatever they got right here. Those ICBM missiles can hit right here. Right? Right? It says I just put in modern day Black Sea. It says the Black Sea is located at the southeast eastern extremity of Europe. Right? Basically means like location. It says or limit, like borderline or whatever. It says it bordered by what? Ukraine. To the north, what? Russia. Right? Northeast Russia and Georgia, right? Which they took over, right? Georgia, they conquered that a while back ago. Russia took that back over. Georgia to the east, and what? Turkey to the south, right? And you seen Turkey was pretty close to Syria, which is pretty close to what? Israel, which is close to where? The Valley of Yehoshaphat, right? Right? Right in that area. And as you see, here's Damascus. So it said, remember Damascus, or consider Damascus. And then earlier we read that the sound was going to be heard from America when the Lord destroys America all the way to the Red Sea. Here's the Red Sea way over here. You're going to hear it. So all within this area, they're going to hear the fall of Babylon the Great. And there's Russia. Look how close. Look how close the Lord is gathering the nations. And I heard what China's all off in Africa. Right? America's off over here. All these other nations, NATO, all the NATO nations, right? It just said that Ukraine is right in that area. So all the NATO areas right up in here, right off in Turkey, getting led right into the what? The Valley of Yehoshaphat. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 23. Concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded. Off pod. For they have heard evil tidings. What is tidings? News, man. You're hearing evil news, bad news, right? Ultimately, because that we know that Amalek is the one who controls the news on this so-called plateau of the earth. But who runs the universe, man? The Most High. He's going. The Lord is controlling the news now. And the news that he has for you is bad news, bad tidings, right? Because now you're going to be, what is it called? Bated breath, right? So now you're hearing the real true bated breath, right? You could what is it? Believe or forbear, but it ain't going to change what's going to happen. This is the evil tidings. They are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea, right? It cannot be quieted, right? So he's gonna make a big noise that you can hear it all the way to the Red Sea, and you ain't gonna be able to quiet what the Lord is bringing to the world, man. Bringing these troops to the Valley the valley of Yehoshaphat to the mountain of troops. Damascus is wax feeble. You know what I mean? So all these places are going to be wax feeble. And turneth her to flee, right? Because the Lord said that you were going to, yeah, right in that land, yeah. Syria, right there. That's the valley of Yehoshaphat. The Lord said that you should see him, but you should durst fight. You're gonna want to flee. Turneth herself to flee, and fear have it seized her. Oh, hey, you know what happens with that? That's what the Lord said. You're gonna be afraid, but you're gonna thus fight. The Lord said fear is gonna seize her. You know what fear? It's like you want to run, but you're so afraid. It basically like paralyzes you, so you can't run. And sees her anguish and sorrow have taken her as a woman in travail. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Yeah, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And after this I beheld, which means to look, and lo, which means to look, all they which were gathered. See, the Lord's gathering you all to the valley of Yehoshaphat that were gathered together to subdue him. So you're going to come and fight against Yahushai, man. Right? Which was given the power from the Most High. So ultimately, you're trying to fight against the Most High. To subdue him, were sore afraid, right? So you're gonna be sore afraid. But the Lord said, what? The fear has seized them. So you're gonna be so afraid. It's gonna make you like paralyzed. You're gonna be afraid. You're gonna be so afraid, paralyzed, man. But that's sore afraid, and yet durst fight. You're gonna want to run, but you're gonna be so afraid you can't run. But then once the battle is up on you, you don't have nothing to do but to try to fight. Cause now you're in a situation. You're not even left with the, what is it, fight or flight situation. You're only left with the fight. You're only left with the fight situation. You're not even getting a decision to fight or flight. Only to fight. You're gonna want to run. But the Lord said the fear is gonna seize you, man. Leave you frozen, and you're gonna have no choice but to fight. Thus, and yet, durst fight. And lo, which means look, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor neither held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, right, out of the bottom of the chariot, out of his mouth. That's where they get that from Independence Day, when it opened up at the bottom and opened up, right, out of his mouth, and it had been a blast of fire, right, which the laser beams, like what they got from Independence Day from the chariots, and out of his mouth a flame of breath, not bated breath, a flame of breath, right, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, right? You came to battle. You want to battle against, you want to be one world organization, right? You're going to be mixed together, okay. Mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, not bated breath, the flame of breath. The Lord, he's just going to give it to you. You don't got to wait. And the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, man. And that's ultimately what you should be afraid, man. We're giving you the evil tidings of Esau, Edom, and your so-called your rulership, you're going to be taken out of rulership. So call all them Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakal Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds. Preaching the truth, sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold through your father, right? Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn on your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom and Abba Ba.